Hello, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of writing CUET important notes, जिसमें हम वो बातें लिखते हैं जो एंट्रेंस एग्जाम में आ सकती हैं, वो इम्पोर्टेंट पॉइंटर्स जो हमें लगता है कि ये किसी ना किसी एमसीक्यू में पूछा जाएगा. So we are going to write those points which we think can be asked in one of the MCQ questions of CUET MA Economics entrance exam. ठीक है जी. बेटा अभी तक हम लोग ये सारे नोट्स लिख चुके हैं जो आप लोगों को पास्ट 2 वीडियोस में मिल जाएंगे एंड टुडे वी आर गोइंग टू गो अहेड एंड प्रोग्रेस फर्दर. नाउ लेट अस गो अहेड एंड लेट अस कंटिन्यू राइटिंग दीज नोट्स. ओके, सो बेटा प्लीज स्टार्ट राइटिंग. So today I want to go ahead and I want to talk about Kurno first. So please write down. बहुत important point है. When the Kurno solution is stable, each firm supplies 1/3 of the market at a common price. कभी कभी हमें ये बताना होता है कि हर फर्म ने मार्केट का कितना शेयर सप्लाई किया, एंड वी आर गिवन दैट इट्स अ Cournot firm equilibrium, right? So in that case, you don't have to solve. You should remember that each firm supplies 1/3 of the market and they supply at a common price which is lower than monopoly but higher than pure competitive firm. तो जिस प्राइस पे Cournot equilibrium सेटअप होता है, that price, the price at which these Cournot firms will exist, will be greater than perfect competition but less than monopoly. This is an important point, right? Please write down the next important point, beta. As I am always mentioning, they are not in any sequence. जितने भी past years हुए हैं, बेशक CUET हो, BHU हो, HCU हो, हैदराबाद यूनिवर्सिटी हो, हैदराबाद सेंट्रल यूनिवर्सिटी, HCU, या कोई भी और पौंडीचेरी यूनिवर्सिटी या कोई भी यूनिवर्सिटी हो, after combining the questions of last 10-20 years, whatever important pointers I could come up with, we are going ahead and writing those pointers. Okay, so please write down the next pointer. Keynes theory of involuntary unemployment is based on price flexibility and money wage rigidity. So sometimes they will ask कि क्या flexible है और क्या rigid है Keynes model में. जब हम Keynes involuntary unemployment की बात करते हैं, when we talk about involuntary unemployment, they will ask what is rigid and what is flexible. So you have to remember that it is based on price flexibility. Prices are flexible and it is based on money wage rigidity. Money wages are rigid in nature, right? Okay, beta. Next point, please. So sometimes they want to distinguish between the different terms of trade. Okay, so one such question that may come in exam, they will give a definition and ask, what is this definition all about? So the definition that I'm giving you is of gross barter terms of trade. क्या होता है gross barter terms of trade? This may come in exam. So please write down the ratio of total physical quantity of import upon total physical quantity of export. if we find out the ratio of total physical quantity of import upon physical quantity of export, that is called gross barter terms of trade. ठीक है जी? अच्छा, next thing is they may ask, ऐसा कुछ क्वेश्चन आ सकता है, that which law shows positive relationship between output and productivity? कौन सा रूल है जो बताता है कि ग्रोथ ऑफ आउटपुट एंड प्रोडक्टिविटी में एक पॉजिटिव रिलेशनशिप है, ऑपोजिट सॉरी, हाँ, प्रोडक्टिविटी विल कम हियर एंड आउटपुट हियर. कौन सा लॉ बताता है दैट एज आउटपुट ग्रोज प्रोडक्टिविटी विल आल्सो ग्रो? सो दैट इज गिवन बाय, प्लीज राइट डाउन, इट्स कॉल्ड द Verdun law. Is this clear, beta? So please write down what is Verdun's law. It shows positive relationship between growth of output and productivity. So the relationship between growth of output and productivity, that positive relationship between growth of output and productivity, that is called the Verdun's law. Now, if we continue further, then we also want to go ahead and we want to understand who gave, ये सबको आना चाहिए, but who gave unlimited supply of labor theory? So beta, it was Lewis who was the author of Economic Development with Unlimited Supplies of Labor. It was given by Arthur Lewis. ठीक है जी, ये कुछ इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंटर्स हैं जो आपको याद रखने ही रखने हैं. Now, every one of us knows what is golden rule, है कि नहीं? Golden rule of consumption सबको पता है, where consumption is maximized in the Solo model. But in exam, if they ask you, beta, what is the golden rule of accumulation in a golden age, that is where we understand per capita consumption is maximized. But sometimes they will not give this condition. ये condition ही नहीं होगी चारों options में. So what is the condition? It is when savings rate is equal to profit rate. So suppose in exam you are given something like this. Instead of asking about the per capita consumption beta, अगर उन्होंने आपसे ऐसा कुछ पूछ लिया सेविंग्स रेट के बारे में और प्रॉफिट रेट के रिलेशन के बारे में, then you should be well aware of that also. Is that clear? Okay, so please write down further. Now, one kind of question that comes in exam that is basically related to the different kinds of technical progress. So please say important, लिख लो point. Important. They ask about different kind of technical progress. जैसे they may ask when is it capital saving, when is it labor saving, ऐसा कुछ question can come in exam. So you have to understand that, suppose they ask you that when, according to Higgs, when is the technical progress capital saving? ये क्वेश्चन है. So it is capital saving if, please लिखो, it is capital saving if it increases marginal product of labor in greater proportion than marginal product of capital. So अगर marginal product of labor जो है, if MPL, that increases in more proportion as compared to MPK, if this condition is satisfied, then we will say that it is a capital saving technical progress. I hope this is making sense. So it is a capital saving technical progress if the proportion of marginal product of labor is greater than the proportion of marginal product of capital. Okay. Again, beta, this question has come in exam. That is the reason why I am listing down this question. Now, one last thing that we want to do from this page today. So as I told you, the book that I have written on these pointers is approximately 320 pages. It is difficult to cover all of those. We are still on page 3 of it. But जितने ज़्यादा हम cover करेंगे, उतने ज़्यादा हम close होंगे on what will come in exam, right? Okay. Now in exam, they may ask you about what is beggar thy neighbor policy. Believe me, this can come in exam. So beggar thy neighbor policy, और बहुत लोग beggar thy neighbor भी बोलते हैं, depends. Beggar thy neighbor policy or beggar thy neighbor policy is a policy if the tariff imposing country raises its income and employment at the cost of exporting country. I'll just explain this point. Okay, समझ लो एक बारी. This is a country A. Country A is purchasing from country B. जैसे maybe US is purchasing from India. अगर US की income and employment increase हो रही है, if US income and employment is increasing at the cost of India, at the expense of India, then such a policy becomes beggar thy neighbor policy. So if the tariff imposing country A जो है वो B से खरीद रही है, US is purchasing from India, but US is importing, is putting some import tariff, due to which the income and employment of US is increasing at the cost of India, then this becomes a beggar thy neighbor policy. Okay, beta, so this is it that I wanted to discuss in today's class. We will continue such sessions again